All right, hey guys, I want to go over the three main types of muscle contractions that we use when talking about our programming and really any type of human performance. And those are isometric contractions, eccentric contractions, and then concentric contractions. Finally, we have dynamic contractions that we'll speak about at the end. But here's what's most important to know, right? The isometric contractions are our static holds. So think about that you're holding the bar on your back before you lower into a back squat, right? Nothing has changed. The muscles are contracting, but they're not stretching or shortening, right? So it's not the contraction in that sense, but they are firing, and we are the strongest in our isometric phase, right? Let me say that again. We are strongest in the isometric phase. So if we think about me going up to try and do a 1 rep max back squat, I can take the bar out of the rack. I can't even keep form lowering. And if I put it 500 pounds on there, I can hold it. It would crush me on the way down, right? It's well over my max. So it's not possible. But our body doesn't understand the difference between successful attempts, lowering static, and concentric phase lifts. It's just going to get the hormonal signals to get stronger. So there is a very good bunch of data and science out there, obviously, on how important isometric holds are. If we look at someone working on a pull-up, where do we start first? You might say ring rows, eccentrics. It's actually grip strength and chin over bar holds. That's isometric. We're strongest there. The next contraction we have is our eccentric contraction. That's our lowering phase of the eccentric phase of a lift. This is after we have the bar on the back. I'm pretty strong. Now maybe I couldn't do 500, but let's say I have 400. I can lower it to the bottom, right? So my 1 rep max eccentric isn't bad. I can't stand it up, but it's not a bad eccentric, right? It just depends on what people want to know what my max is. I didn't know you were talking about my concentric. I thought it was just my lowering max. So we are stronger there, and that's why you'll see in the tempo section we talk about that a lot of times for newer athletes or in the beginning of a strength phase, we'll increase the eccentric. So our body's under tension longer, so our body's getting the signal, get stronger, get stronger, get stronger, right? While we're not having to stand up quite as much weight or as many times to do it, right? It's not like a whole bunch of air squats. It doesn't really translate exactly the same to a heavy eccentric. From here, we have concentric loading, and that is the classic. You take it out of the rack, you stand down and up. So we've now stretched out the muscles. Now we're shortening them again. That is the shortening in the biceps curl. Any of those movements, that is, we've lowered ourselves in the pull-up and gotten strong on the negatives, and now we're able to pull ourselves up because of the strength we got from eccentrics, and that strength we had from eccentrics we got from isometrics, right? So again, it goes isometric, eccentric, concentric is what we classically think of completing the lift. And then dynamic would be, again, you have chin over bar holds for pull-up, lowering pull-ups and eccentrics, weighted negatives, strict pull-ups, dead hangs, and weighted pull-ups. And now you have kipping pull-ups, butterfly pull-ups, etc. That's when you're doing things in motion, concentric, eccentric loadings happening almost simultaneously and in the same reps at varying degrees of intensity, right? So on a power clean, it can be concentric. We'll want to catch. There's still an eccentric phase to that catch there, but the actual load and the force production can vary during that lift. We don't need to go into that too much there, right? That we know 200-pound bar coming down on you is going to feel a little heavier than 200 pounds, right? get you pinned. Okay, but that's it again. Isometric, we're strongest. Eccentric is the lowering. That's next. Concentric is after that. That's us standing. Isometric, eccentric, concentric, and finally would be dynamic, and we use that a lot for conditioning phase stuff. That's why conditioning isn't where we get strong, okay? And that's the little how-to sheet here on our 3 types of contraction.